Maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm sitting here tapping on it like it's not going. I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting here clicking the intro button, and it's like, no.
We're here.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Right.
We're here.
Three Dudes in Wrestling, episode 9. We should do something big next week.
Oh, yeah.
Big 10-0.
Ooh, 10-0. That's actually 100, but
well, you know what I mean. The big 1-0.
Oh, snap.
I'm excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrestling coming up this weekend.
Yes, a lot. And I realized that for all of WWE stuff, I'm going to be at work giving tours at the Motown Museum. So
I mean, there's worse places you could be.
This is very true. This is very true, but
you can watch the AEW show on Sunday, because that's basically the amount of matches they have on that card basically is equal to, if not more than, NXT and WWE's combined.
This is true because they were going, I can't even remember them all, but they were going over all of the matches for AEW.
You're going to want to take a little nap on Sunday.
I can't, because once I get home, I got to start Worlds Collide up until I'll probably get home at like 6:30. So I got to, get ready.
I guess.
I got to rewatch so much. You said what?
Marathoning them.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what's going to be happening. All right, let me try
Fast forward button's a must for the type of day like that.
Right. Now,
what y'all want to start with today?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to bring up.
You want to bring up some new shit?
Some old shit.
Yeah.
So our plan this week was to watch SummerSlam 92, as that was the last stadium show that took place in the UK. So we went back and watched that SummerSlam so we can talk about it before Clash of Champions this weekend.
Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
Make sure you set your clocks.
1 p.m. Now, one thing that was weird about the show for me was that even though the entire hype of the show was Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, it wasn't the main event of the night. They called it the main event, but it was like, 3 matches before the last match?
Yeah, the Taker Kamala match was after that. And then the Bret Hart Warrior match was after that.
And I'm just like, everybody all night, they're interviewing random wrestlers who have nothing to do with the pay-per-view, except for Ric Flair. They're trying to figure out who's going to be, who Mr. Perfect was going to be in the corner of, and who paid. And I'm just like, but the whole time I'm thinking, like, isn't the main event Bulldog and Hart? Like,
yeah, the main event was definitely Bret Hart carrying British Bulldog for 25 minutes. That was.
I mean, no matter how you slice it, you got Savage and Warrior or Hart and Bulldog. Either way, your main event features at least one wrester who was on a bender that week.
At least one.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the Fook Me Bret?
That is.
We got the true main event. I don't know why we got Blurry Macho, but I honestly, oddly enough, I can't find a lot of pictures for SummerSlam.
That's crazy because it's still regarded by a lot of people as like, just amazing, which blows my mind. Going back and rewatching that thing cover to cover, there was a part before the Kamala Taker match where Danny Davis was the referee, and you can see him mouthing the promo that Harvey Whippleman is putting as everything Harvey's saying. Oh, Danny, come on now. I always love catching. I love catching somebody else. Like, how'd you know what he was gonna say?
Right, but like that whole match was just, the whole night. It just felt weird just because they're building for the main event that's not even the main event, but then they don't even acknowledge that main event until like it's getting ready to happen. Because I don't remember them mentioning Bret Hart maybe once the entire night. I feel like it was mentioned.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, like, yeah, during that intro, I suppose it probably was, but
Yeah,
like,
but
throughout the thing, they kept talking.
Yeah, I mean, of course, people knew that was going to happen, but it's just like watching. If you were like watching it for the first time, which actually I was, because I tend not to watch or even look up a lot of the results from older shows, from early WWE, 80s, 90s wrestling,
I like to call it
because
the 1900s. It makes it sound
right
back in the 1900s.
I was still a kid at the time, so I want to go in a little naive about the matches and the outcomes and things like that, because it's just a greater enjoyment to experience, watching it for the first time, where it's like you don't go in with any notion of who's going to win in each match and the different people that are going to be there. Because outside of British Bulldog and Bret Hart, I didn't know any of the matches that were on that card. I just remember that the Bret Hart one is what it was,
How'd you not know about the Nails Virgil match, man? Like,
that's a classic. I totally forgot about that.
That was a classic, man. He was blatantly choking him out. There was no arm over the sleeper. And one of the funniest lines. So Vince says to Bobby, to the Brain, he's like, "That's a blatant chokehold." And the Brain goes, "Nope, I can see his Adam's apple. It's not a chokehold."
Yeah, like
Brain, you're the best. Some of his one-liners, and I wrote a few of them down from that show.
There was one moment in the show. It's in the first match with tried to find a picture for it, but I couldn't. But was it Money Inc. versus Legion of Doom, and they got the chokehold on him for to the point where he's almost about to pass out, but somehow, some way, instantly healed. He's not groggy. He's not lethargic. He doesn't look like he was close to. No, like after the hold was let go, he was like, "I can climb onto the top rope now," and I'm like, "No." At least sell it a little bit more. Like
they kept,
he just walked right over.
One of the funny, one of the whole dynamics of that match is how Money Inc. isn't tagging and they're not letting Hawk tag him in. One of the times, Bobby the Brain, he's like, "Oh, if you're close enough, you don't have to actually tag him. It's okay, Vince."
Yeah, I heard. I was so confused. I'm like,
"Yep." They just slap their arm and then switch places. It was fantastic.
Or it just doesn't happen. What was funny to me was spoilers, by the way.
Are we talking spoilers from 92? Spoilers from the 1900s.
There was a moment where, the ref didn't see Legion of Doom tag in, and so they were like, "Nope, you got to get out." But then as he turns around, and clearly no tag, just watches them two switch, doesn't say a word. And I'm just like, okay.
Are you going to be the one that tells something to Hawk or Animal that they did something wrong?
They're telling a story, man.
Like, it was beautiful, but at the same time, it was just like
booty full.
Yeah, like either way, like I still enjoyed a lot of that.
We're not to the Shawn Michaels match yet, man. I don't know what you're talking about, bootyful.
Yep.
Speaking of the Shawn Michaels match.
Wrong booty, but okay.
Man, it's a Queen Cherry sandwich. Look at the face peekaboo in the coffee.
I didn't even notice that right
there. No punches to the face was the rule, but you can open hand slap the hell out of each other.
Or kick each other in the face. Come on, that's a sensational Sherry sandwich. That was amazing.
Right. Like that. But that whole thing, that match in particular, I'm just like, the back and forth of, after they went out, of them trying to carry her back.
She took a lot of bumps during that.
It was hilarious to me.
Having your butt cheeks out that much, man. She hit the deck a bunch.
Yeah, she got dropped on her face, if I remember.
And then she just had to lay there and pretend she was knocked out. And then they commented on it. They said if she was truly knocked out, she wouldn't be able to
hold around her neck.
Oh yeah, I was like, I mean, we know she's not knocked out because she clearly looked up when they were walking away.
we were talking about that goofy shit. Give me that goofy laugh.
Right. Oh my God.
I
It was
fucking cracking up.
And then he comes out with the bucket of water, and I'm like, oh my God. So, like I said, I didn't know anything about that, event. So all of this is new to me. I'm like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And then when he threw it in her face, I was like, I kind of wanted that to happen, but at the same time, I was surprised that it happened because it was just straight up. And then they just both walked away. I don't even know what the next part of that story is. I got to look that up because
I think it literally just they kind of dropped off after that because I remember
went after the IC after that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I loved every minute of it, but I just wanted to know if there was like this big
culmination.
I guess that was the culmination.
That was it.
Later on in the show, there's like a meanwhile backstage. It's Sherry getting carried by everybody and still getting dropped on her face.
Right? It's just a line of people. They're just passing her. Somebody comes and hits them, drops her, picks her up again, and
it's like the carrying her version of the scene from Airplane where everybody's smacking the shit out of the one passenger.
Right.
I think in order to be on camera during that match, you had to show at least 65% of your ass.
Yes.
Everybody's ass was getting pulled out. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here, say there was more moons than Tatooine on that motherfucker.
It was.
Got to give the people of Wembley what they want.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen so many smiling faces. You sell it, Vince.
It was, that whole, so I'm definitely gonna look forward to, like, I guess what we'll do is every month when we watch like an older WWE pay-per-view, if they have like a previous one of that pay-per-view,
don't they have a previous one of those motherfuckers?
Well, no, because like some of them are like either new or not, like they don't have a lot. So like I don't want to go back 2 years.
Nobody does.
But like I want to go back and watch,
90s,
yeah. So if they have like
the history of Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, so like even if NXT does, Great American, like next year when they do Great American Bash or Halloween Havoc, we're already choosing it. Halloween Havoc when Ray fought Eddie Guerrero. That's the one I want to watch.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of this democracy. I guess we just watching that one.
2 months. No, I mean we can choose which one is going to be a good older one, but like that's one of the ones where I was like, okay, at one point I'm going to go back and watch because I saw the match in the WWE 2K game where you played as Rey Mysterio.
Okay, I haven't done it yet, but
in the story, I guess the Superstar Showcase. You go through Rey Mysterio's career. And the cool thing about it is it's told as if it was like one of the A&E documentaries. And as Rey Mysterio is talking, it'll go into like the video package of him wrestling and him talking about the match. And then it'll seamlessly transition from like the live action match into the wrestling match. And then you have to go in and do the certain objectives to get to the next spot. And then the documentary will pick that. So it was really cool. But that made me want to watch that pay-per-view because, if that match was good, I'm pretty sure some of the other ones that night are going to be good. You think
so, but that's not how it works with WCW.
This is also true. I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that even though WCW produced a lot of like questionable pay-per-views, there's got to be a few diamonds in the rough in there somewhere. And I'm hoping that night was one of them. Because if not, I'm going to be a little disappointed. It's like, 3 hours of my life I can't get back?
Once again, you got that fast forward, man. You can
with the older stuff, I don't skip because like with newer stuff, it's like I can just go on Twitter to see the little bits that I missed. Back then, I mean, I know I could do it now, but I just like to experience the whole thing. Yeah. But if it's like one I've already watched, like then yeah.
One of the things during that huge buildup to the Taker Savage match, like they told the whole story. Who was it that was wearing? Ultimate Warrior was wearing flesh-colored leotard with the abs painted on.
Yeah, I'm like, why?
That takes a certain kind of cat. And then at the wrestling thing, he actually had all the muscle tissue instead of the abs. I was like,
this was before or after Giant Gonzalez?
Before Gonzalez. Yeah. I like that. You got a good ring to it there, Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was before, but like when I saw that at the SummerSlam last night. Hold on, do I have it? Oh no, I thought I had.
No, that's just an actual picture of Warrior naked.
No, no. I did have the picture. This one I think was the muscle-colored ones. That's in this picture.
Yeah, the one this was was in the promos shit, like when they were fighting and not fighting.
Which I'm convinced. Like again, I don't know what it is with 80s wrestlers or 80s and early 90s wrestling, but why y'all gotta yell so much? Y'all not even in the pay-per-view and y'all yelling about who Mr. Perfect is going to be in the corner with. I mean, Bushwhackers, I'm looking at you. Like, why are y'all yelling?
Looking at you. Nasty Boys couldn't even, they were stumbling over the words during this one.
And they didn't even have anything to do. Like, I mean, I think they were supposed to be the next to fight or something. I don't know. But still, it was like, why y'all here? I guess y'all gotta,
so much passion.
I guess I have to remember that back then this wasn't a weekly thing. This was,
they had to get their promos in. And
this could be months apart where, they would progress the story. So I guess I have to take that into consideration. But y'all
running home from church on Sundays to catch Superstars at 11 o'clock on USA. Like, you missed it all. I remember even when Raw started, it was like a talking forum more than it was. And we're like, oh, and then we'll show you this clip from this match. It took, pay-per-views. You had to get your promos in, your matches in, start building towards the next shits. It was an all-in-one package.
Yep, that's why I guess the recount package for Ultimate Warrior Macho Man was so long because that was like almost 15 minutes long. They showing almost 2 full matches up in there, and I'm like. I mean, but back then you couldn't do that. So it's like you had to sit there and watch. So like I was wondering while that was going on, what are they doing in the stadium? Are they just watching it?
The same shit that they do during WWE now. I watch them get one dude down to the ring and they talk for a minute and then they go to a commercial for 3 minutes. Drew McIntyre was just standing in the ring the whole time. Was he doing the robot?
Yeah, I just wonder who was out there, and it was just funny to me because I was like, this is a long video. Like, what are they doing in the audience? Because, a couple of minutes I get, but almost 10, 15 minutes, it's like y'all got to have a dark match going, something to keep them entertained because it was just like
man on the microphone constantly saying spectacle. Look at the spectacle. I counted it. He said spectacle 37 fucking times during that pay-per-view. I'm kidding, but a lot. Every other 38. Thanks for checking my math. I appreciate it.
Now, there is another group that I always forget was a thing, but I just, I've only seen either them separately or in matches like the Royal Rumble or something. I've never actually seen them wrestle a full match, but the Natural Disasters.
Those Hall of Fame. We need to start the ballots now for the Natural Disasters to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Even as simple as his move was, where he just jumps next to, I was like, oh my God, this is the most, because his name is Earthquake. Yeah. So I'm like, he's causing, I loved every minute of that. So
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he was a taken from the stands and found dude. I know they turned it into a bit with him and Dino Bravo, but I think he was just a fan that they got in and became tag team champions and shit.
Yeah,
he was just Dino Bravo's henchman for a while. But I think in real life he was just a fan that showed up to an event.
And that definitely gave me more of an appreciation for Earthquake and the Natural Disasters, just the style of wrestling, because back then wrestling was half actual wrestlers with normal names and then half gimmicks.
Tugboat, baby.
And And they could pull off gimmicks back then. Like gimmicks, they could. Like that's one thing I admired about that time is they knew how to make those characters work. And except for Gonzalez or whatever his name was, that one just didn't work. But
that was later though.
Yeah,
I mean, if we want to go current, we can go with Nails. Nails didn't fucking work.
No, those are also those random ones.
It was scary,
right?
I mean, I think he lost his job like right after that shit. And then Nails was one of the key guys in Vince McMahon's steroid controversy. He was testifying, but like then he went on the news or some shit and was like, I fucking hate Vince McMahon, which shot his actual like validity in a courtroom to shit, and is one of the reasons that Vince got off as late as he did.
Apparently, he also went into a meeting room with Vince and, surprise, surprise, Nails and all, tried choking him too to get more money or whatever.
That's not going to work. But
it worked against Virgil. It can work against Vince.
Yeah, I guess so, but not if it ends up with one person going to court again. But yeah, that match was, or that whole pay-per-view was actually, it was really good. Like the only match that I didn't really care for was
Repo Man versus Crush.
I actually forgot about that match too.
That's Demolition Man, because Repo Man used to be what, Axe?
Yeah, I think so.
Smash,
yeah,
and Crush was Crush.
Yeah,
I think Axe was. I don't want to be damn the dead, but he was old when this whole thing started. So
yeah, but like I just forgot that match and the Virgil and Nails match. I guess because like all the other matches had some big name or both of them were big names. While the other ones were like, Repo Man isn't as recognizable as, did you say Axe? The other guy,
Smash.
Because weren't those two, was it them or was it LOD that at first held the titles for the longest time?
It was Demolition that held the record forever, but Demolition was
forever.
Yeah, but Demolition was just McMahon's answer to not being able to get Legion of Doom under contract, or Road Warriors as they were at the time. So I mean, that was his answer. It was like, oh, we're just gonna.
I want the Road Warriors, but I also want them in more bondage gear.
Yeah, I mean, some of the masks were straight up gimp that they came to the ring without question.
So there's some stuff that I'm happy I missed, but there's like a lot of that stuff. Like that little bit of storytelling with Kamala and Undertaker. Because didn't Kamala win the match? Like I was doing something else at like right as the ending happened, so I can't remember who won.
Taker just won.
Yeah, that's what it was. Somebody. I was reading this comment. I don't know when it just came up there.
I don't know if we can call people old anymore. I can call people old. I look youthful.
Yes.
Disregard the two kids and the wife upstairs.
Now
you could have had him young.
I could have.
He's actually in his 20s this week.
Is that 20? You 20, man? You look 19.
I appreciate that, man. I'm 41, but it's cool.
Now, I want to turn it over to you because I want to get into some of the best commentating teams.
We've been talking about this for a few weeks in the pregame. We haven't made it there with it yet.
And I know for me, my favorite right now.
No. Oh, are we talking active?
I just want to throw these two in here because I can only really speak on JR and King for the most part. As far as like 1900s wrestling goes.
Ye old pro wrestling.
But
they all had capes and shit.
That's just my favorite like group now because SmackDown used to be so boring. Once Pat McAfee started dancing on the tables to Shinsuke Nakamura, I was like, I'm gonna like this And then the more that they just interacted with each other, I'm like, okay, I like this. But there are so many other great duos.
I mean, just so when you say current, that's your guys. I have to say that AEW needs to put like 6 dudes on the desk during some matches to try to put up whatever quality it is that WWE's doing. WWE's either got 3 or 2 on the desk. And I think even tonight there was a match that had like Jericho, Regal, Bonnie, JR, Excalibur, and Taz.
There was 6 people at the table tonight.
I bet you if they'd have turned the lights on over there, it looked like a kid's table at Thanksgiving, some shit. Like
the Last Supper or something. Like it was
big.
That's ridiculous. And they stumbled over each other so much tonight.
Too many
to the point where even I think Excalibur was like, I'm sorry, but then was trying to continue with what he was saying because he cut the other guy off because they're just. And the only time anybody is quiet is when Excalibur has to read the matches for the next week, where he's going off for like 30 different. Let that man breathe, Tony.
Man, he is good.
Let him breathe.
Man, he's good at that.
Because tonight he's just like, you have this match and this match is going to be with this for this, and then you got this match and that. Like, let the man. You got 6 people. Why does he have to be the only one to read off all the matches? Why can't it be like 2 per person or something?
That mask must be sweat wicking, man.
Right,
he is under there working.
He is putting in work, just trying to announce all the matches from Friday to All Out to Dynamite next week. Come on, man, let him
DraftKings. And he started talking. He threw out all the bets in 10 seconds.
Right, he did, and I was like,
"You can bet this, that."
I was like, let him breathe.
The mask is probably the best. He's probably got like a big vein just ready to pop on his head at the end of it.
That's why he's got the mask on. It's not because he's ugly.
It's because he's hiding the veins.
Back in the day, I grew up on Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. I feel like those two started off the like good guy, bad guy back and forth. You got Gorilla playing the straight man and Jesse Ventura just cracking jokes and chopping everybody down, with his verbal assaults. I mean, I believe Jesse should have thanked Gorilla Monsoon in his governor inauguration speech because he wouldn't have been where he was if he didn't have Gorilla Monsoon, the straightest of the straight men, to play against.
The thing I like about Jesse way back in the day, especially when he was with Gorilla, is that he was a heel commentator, but he would actually make a point. Him and we'll probably talk about him as well, but Bobby Heenan, heel commentators who actually have a point are the best. Was it WrestleMania? Oh God, what was the one with Savage and Warrior? The loser leaves town one.
Is that 5?
Yeah, I think it was, but it's whatever it was. Warrior doesn't run to the ring. He's like slowly, he is, but he's like, that's a mistake, Gorilla. He's gonna waste all of his energy before the match.
Yeah,
like offering some insight too. He's like, yeah, he probably wants him to lose, but
I couldn't tell if that was a Jesse the Body impression or like a Ralph from the Muppets, but that was pretty good. Like that. That's good stuff.
We got a Swedish chef in there one day.
I mean, back in the day, before anybody knew who Vince McMahon actually was, as fans, maybe, behind the scenes, everybody knew, but before anybody knew Vince McMahon actually owned all of that shit, I thought he was fantastic at the desk. I mean, he's always there pumping his product, but like him and Heenan, what
a maneuver.
Or him and Savage when they used to get after it. Well, look at this guy, huh? Nice, but he had, like I said, he said spectacle 37 times when he was calling that SummerSlam that we just watched.
This is his spectacle face. That's how it looks when he says it. Spectacle.
I mean, that outfit that Savage is wearing is kind of a spectacle in and of itself.
Spectacle. I mean, he was really good at, like I'm saying, like hyping his product, but you didn't know that he was hyping his product. You just thought he was, especially for me.
Yeah, he was just like, he was some dude.
He was just the announcer. That's what you expect. Everybody has a good guy and a bad guy type thing.
And it's really interesting to, having not watched any of that, outside of a few old pay-per-views that I watched, but still not watching that when it happened, and then going back and watching it after you know who Vince McMahon is, and it just he definitely feels like in place but out of place. Like, I know you're the owner, so like you can't fool me and make me think that you're not. But then I have to remember, well, back then nobody knew.
You hit your ear different hearing Vince McMahon yelling in your ear at this point.
Yeah, because back then nobody was yelling in his ear. He was yelling in his ear, like, and so it's just weird to see that.
It was Vince. He probably did have a voice in his head just yelling at him the entire time. It would explain a lot.
So here's the question of the hour: did Vince ever really leave commentary?
Yeah, I think for sure. And like with JR and Lawler, and I think at the beginning of like Taz and Cole on SmackDown, I think they had a ton of freedom. I mean,
Okay.
I think JR, I would imagine, is if JR is allowed to run the ship, behind the scenes,
you said JR and
talent
King,
relations,
right?
huh?
You said JR and King, right?
JR with
anybody.
I
mean, they obviously belong in there. I mean, that's the voice of the Attitude Era.
Real quick, look at the 3 different faces.
Dude, is that person in Mae Young?
I don't know who that is. I didn't notice it until after I saved it. But that, like, look at Jerry's. It's like he got that little fake smile on. JR is like, I don't want to be here, and this other woman is like,
for JR too.
He's like, or this old lady is just like, why is that camera on me? Like,
I'm telling you, that's
that little old lady looks like a hybrid of the two faces.
No,
yes, another fusion technique over here.
Oh, man, you got to work on your cut and paste game here. But yeah, that looks like a fan in Fabulous Moolah cosplay. That's my call.
I just wanted to point that out before we got too deep into. Someone said we got this comment. Yeah.
Well, then that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, JR was the head of like talent relations back then, like I said. So
yeah.
There's no way that Vince didn't have the faith in him to, not to say that he wasn't talking, but like from what I understand, people were getting like told exactly what to say for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like that for everybody.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's definitely understandable because as we know, and you can see it with Michael Cole right now. You can see the relief that he has on having that freedom and where he can, just have at it. Now, I was reminded of one of my favorite like heel runs in the company. Like, even though I hated him, the character at least, I really did enjoy when Michael Cole was the voice of the general manager. Like, that was it was always so cheesy to me because that was around the time when I think he had his one and only match at WrestleMania, so he remains undefeated.
That match would have been so much better too. All you did was just like have Lawler just come beat the shit out of him and pile drive him.
Yeah, like I just love that whole moment because it really gave Michael Cole, like, I know even during the Attitude Era he was front and center a lot of the times, but
not SmackDown, but
yeah, especially after SmackDown. But it was just really nice to see him doing in-ring stuff and commentary, so he got to have a little bit of fun as a wrestler as well. And I really did enjoy that. But that was one of my just favorite Michael Cole things was his heel run, because the person he is now, it's like night and day with those
those like old DX promos and shit.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Shawn Michaels try and give him away
different versions.
Now. Dude's he's on the Vince McMahon program. Get a little swole, neck gets a little fatter.
Ooh. Be like, our little Michael Cole has come a long way from the days of hosting Live Wire on Saturday mornings.
Oh, Live
Wire. Okay, so I took it. If I can find this, I found something on Twitter. And I hope that I can find it.
Okay, well, we'll talk while you search.
Yeah. You guys talk, because this is something that I do want to talk
How
about.
about we give some love to some commentary teams outside WWF, like
Shivani.
I was gonna say what's his name? Don West and Mike Tenay and TNA.
Yeah, Mike Tenay is quality. I enjoy it. I mean, that's like a voice from my past as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the one dude that did like all the ECW commentary? He was like the ring announcer.
Oh no, Joey Styles.
Yeah. Gotta throw a shout out to him without question.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that what he did? Oh my god.
I mean, there was a bit more yelling than you needed.
It was. I just didn't feel like.
But that's
oh my god.
You have to do where your voice cracks.
Right.
So just I'm gonna randomly transition because I want to. Kevin Owens, I believe, is my favorite wrestler in WWE. I love his attitude. Like, dude doesn't have to raise his voice for you to know that he's fucking serious. It's that whole, we talk about like offshoot of yourself. If you don't got to try too hard, then everything just kind of comes naturally. And I think Owens is, I guess, hitting a second stride, but like I think he will have a strap on him by the end of the year, depending on what happens in this McIntyre match on Saturday. I believe Kevin Owens has to be first up to take that red strap back.
Well, it seems
personal
like
opinion.
They're probably teasing him and Sammy getting back together again.
I'm really curious to see what happens with that Sammy and the Bloodline. I was hoping that he, on his Bloodline shirt, would have like drawn himself in somewhere. Like a stick figure. Every time he was on screen with his Bloodline, I was like, come on, tell me you had your wife get the cricket out and put a little Sami Zayn in the Bloodline t-shirt.
So you can see him just like peeling off from the shirt every now and then.
Just draw it in white out, whatever. I mean,
did you guys see how on SmackDown last week he broke Jay? Was it Jay? Yeah, he broke Jay Uso when he was talking to
they felt the camera back.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, you can't hide it, Jay. You can't hide it, man. We all see it." It was too good.
That's some of the best stuff in wrestling. It's like when the people are laughing on Saturday Night Live and they're not supposed to be, and you get them to break. Like I love that. I don't know, fourth wall break as it would be.
You want more Jimmy Fallon in your pro wrestling?
No, but I could use less Jay Leno in my pro wrestling. So
what about Karl Malone?
Yeah. I would probably. I mean, I'd watch Jimmy Fallon fight Adam Cole, baby.
Right.
I think they're about. I think they're in the same weight class.
All right, so I got it. I found it.
Okay.
Now I pulled this from a guy on TikTok who does. He's at almost every live show. His name is called Nico Extra. And I've seen him on TikTok and on Twitter, but he posted this, and I wanted your guys' thoughts on this. Now I know it's small.
I saw this. I think it's it's pretty fantastic.
So it says Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now this is somebody commenting on the Attitude Era officially coming to a close storyline wise. So we have Stone Cold Steve Austin is retired on a ranch with a beer company. D-Generation X is literally running WWE. The Rock is the most electrifying man in Hollywood. Mick Foley is just being a dude. Kurt Angle is being a role model. Kane is finally buried by cancel culture and laid to rest. Chris Jericho is out here being a rock star and still a brat willingly. Undertaker rode into the sunset, and Vince McMahon is forever disgraced. I think the WWE Attitude Era, storyline-wise, just had a satisfying conclusion.
Kane just got reelected, so I don't know exactly how canceled Kane got.
He's canceled to people outside of that, but I don't want to bring that topic.
He's the mayor of what was that?
We could talk about Jesus and politics. It would be fantastic. Everyone would have a great time.
The whole town still believes in kayfabe. They don't want to upset Kane. They might set him on fire.
I want to see his promo for the videos. He's like, I'm going to bring taxes down.
Right. I'm like.
There is a video of him doing a speech, and he puts the mask on, chokeslam a random.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Table.
I don't know that it was random, but yeah, I got you.
Now,
he was his opponent.
I know we talked about Kevin Owens and
I don't feel like we talked about Kevin as much as we should have. I mean, that dude should get 7 to 10 minutes airtime.
I mean, he can.
And entertainment.
Just make him a comment.
This is
entertainment. That's all I'm saying.
He's
Canadian too. It's great.
He really is. But there's something I want to talk about though, because there's a little bit of controversy for Monday night. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Maybe
the tag match for the titles.
The ladies tag. Oh, as to why the jobbers won? Not jobbers. That was unnecessary.
Well, I don't know if they weren't supposed to win, but Aaliyah pinned the wrong person. Dakota Kai was not.
The whole tournament was cursed anyway.
Dakota Kai was not the legal
woman.
So I don't know if it was still supposed to be won by
It would seem like
them.
I mean, that probably would have pretended like somebody's shoulder popped up if they weren't supposed to be the winner. I mean, the ref is the all-powerful, all-knowing. Just ask, anybody in Montreal.
I mean, this is true, but we do. This wouldn't be the first time that somebody won the title that wasn't supposed to win the title. What didn't Caitlyn?
Didn't Kofi? I mean, shit happens. Kofi touched the floor type shits.
Yeah, so there were a few matches where the champion wasn't supposed to win, but they still went with the storyline. But I just wonder where they're gonna go with that, because if that was legit, not how it was supposed to go down, at least that does open them up to challenge for the titles again after Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably more long term since they're already
that's what I'm thinking
tied
too.
into the match, the 3-way at the thing.
Yeah,
at least let them get a little rub with the belts,
right?
I would think. What do you? I mean, we should probably start making some picks. We got all these pay-per-views coming up and a bunch of matches. I mean, you think CM Punk, John Moxley? You think Moxley's going to just drop it to him after all this right now? I mean, I think I know where we all want the belt to go.
Can I make a bold pick with that one?
A bold pick.
Not so much who's going to win, but MJF's going to come back for that match.
I hope so, but if CM Punk wins, unless MJF does come back, I don't care about the AEW championship as long as it's on CM Punk. I will die on this hill.
I mean, I
don't care for CM Punk right now.
That much better? I mean, no disrespect to I like John Moxley way more
Lesser
than I like
of two
Punk.
evils. Lesser of two evils. I'd rather Mox have it.
Shit.
Punk's not gonna have a match where he bleeds and fights outside the ring every match.
And it felt pointless to me to have him lose. Y'all, it still would have been the exact same hype. It's still the exact same hype. This did not give it any more hype than it already had.
I don't know. Those 6 people that were standing around CM Punk on the railing there, man, I think they're way more invested now.
Yeah, well, those are people from Chicago, and if they love CM Punk,
it's a beaut.
If they love CM Punk, hey yo, that's on you.
I don't know, man. The beginning of that,
no power to you, but
the beginning of that show, Mox was getting that sweet love from the crowd. People are trying to chant CM Punk, but they were getting Moxley was, I don't know, for CM Punk town. For that being
Chicago is gonna love Punk no matter what.
These are the people that Punk's saying will kill and eat you if you come to Chicago. Like, oh yes, they will.
Yeah, look at that kid. He's definitely gonna eat you. I can see it.
Right.
Is the one on the left wearing a fedora? That's totally somebody who's going to stab my ass in the middle of the night.
Right. But I just don't care about CM Punk right now. I just.
What's it going to take for you to care about CM Punk? I like the fact that he was about to turn heel. He randomly was like busting people's balls in his own town. I was like, oh, it's here. He's going to be heel Punk. I hear he's really funny.
I'm going to need Punk to not be in the title picture. And I don't. Too soon for him to have been in there.
I choose to believe they used Ace Steel for this for that segment because he didn't want anything to do with Colt Cabana, which would have made more sense. Like, oh yeah, I have another friend from back in my indie days. Ace, what are you doing? Nothing?
I was a big fan of just watching an old man bitch slap CM Punk a few times. That was pretty classy.
It was like watching a manager at a McDonald's tell you that somebody got in sick and you have to work a double.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's funny.
All right.
With like the headset.
You got a rundown of these matches in front of you, anybody? We're just going to cotton pick around. I apologize. Just pick around. Just like pick around whatever matches we want to. I am super sorry. I did not.
Each there, Hogan.
I would have not have noticed had you not apologized. Like I was in a thought. Like there was a thought process in my head that I was trying to get out. But because you said I apologize, it registered. Because I was about to say, like, hold on a minute.
Just like, oh no.
Yeah. We're about to watch the whole podcast fucking burn right here. Oh my God.
I'm gonna get the support. You know, people gonna stand up for me.
My bad.
I appreciate the apology.
My bad. Back to it. What were you gonna say now?
I don't remember.
That'll make you lose your train of thought. We were talking about matches and who think.
Right. I was gonna say I'm more interested, honestly, in this in the matches, as odd as it is at Worlds Collide.
Oh, I'm Castle, yeah.
only because I'm interested to see what happens in the long term when they, premiere NXT Europe. Like, are all of the people who were from NXT
make it come back?
It could. It very well could. And so I'm excited, and the reason I say I'm excited for this one is this is that first step into a bunch of new wrestlers that I've never heard of before. And even people who are in indie promotions in Europe, I think this one would be the first major European promotion. Even though it's just a WWE offshoot, this has the potential to be for Europe what WWE is. And not even just Europe. Even, I guarantee you, people from Africa, like Asia, they're all going to go up there too, hoping to get, some wrestling opportunities. And that's why I say I'm more interested in it, because I'm interested to see where this goes and how much of a new broadened horizon that we're going to get within WWE, because I know for a lot of people, they're just going to focus on, over here. Because it's easier, but I'm interested to see the type of superstars that come up, because they're going to be pulling from the indies over there. They can't do the next in line program over there. They wouldn't have enough stars. They're going to have to pull from NXT UK and the indies. And this also, go ahead.
Is the only place to watch NXT UK on Peacock?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think going around over there, if it'd be interesting if they treated it like it was over here, and you had weekly wrestling shows over there as well, that where superstars toured on the kind of like a similar schedule to how they do over here, And then every so often, maybe they'll do an American tour.
You know, I was gonna say you got to get that flippy floppy, get some of that love from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, bring back the old concept we had from WWF had in like the 80s, 90s, where it'd be like live in the studio, and now here's a match from NXT UK from a week ago.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's impossible with the internet is the thing I would say to that they used to get away with all kinds of shit back in the day.
Yeah.
I was reading about back about that SummerSlam that we just watched. So after that, Michaels went on to start fighting Bulldog for the IC match. And at a TV taping that was like a house show, but it wasn't obviously live or anything, Michaels and Bulldog came out and were putting on a match, and it was the match that Bulldog was supposed to drop the strap to Shawn Michaels. Vince McMahon got up from the commentator's desk, got in the ring, told them both to stop, go back by there, come the fuck back out here and redo this match because this is a piece of shit. And they came back out, and apparently 15 minutes into the redo of the match at the same setting, 10 minutes later, Vince McMahon still got up, threw his freaking headset down, and was completely over, and they ended up redoing the match and retaping it like 2 weeks later at a different venue. Damn. Imagine being at that show.
Right.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Kayfabe is gone. Kayfabe is dead for life for anybody that was at that show.
Imagine Vince doing that like a year or two prior when they were trying to do the test runs for Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair that weren't good enough to make it to WrestleMania.
That's just ridiculous. That would have been like one of the highest grossing WrestleManias ever if they'd have done that Hogan Flair match. First year, Flair's there, Hogan's there, boom. It's time to make millions of dollars. I think that was like not giving Marshawn Lynch the ball on the 1 yard line type dumb fucking idea. I do. There's the two biggest names in wrestling perhaps ever, and for the first time they're in the same promotion. Like that was dumb.
Yeah. Like
You guys think Drew McIntyre's got a chance?
This would be the time to do it.
No, Karrion Kross is going to interfere.
Well,
at least that's what I feel. I could be totally wrong. I just feel like he's going to interfere somehow, some way, in a way that either Roman loses and Drew McIntyre wins, but Roman still retains, or
event with the title. I'm calling it right now with that.
That could also happen. But yeah, I think that's a tough one because if now would be the time for like Roman to at least drop both straps and then get right back to like attaining one of those straps.
Yeah, him and Drew can keep a show going. Drew can go drop the belt to KO at some point. He has to be. I don't know. I mean, maybe Austin Theory comes and shows up because I hear he's getting his whole name back in the next couple weeks.
No, he already got it back. Him and Matt Riddle. They got the names.
They only put up Riddle with one time.
I mean, but they went back and like later stuff they did on like the internet later showed it as Austin Theory.
Speaking of my 420 brother, Riddle and fucking Seth freaking Rollins, that promo that they showed, I read something afterwards where Triple H said, "I'm not going TVMA. I'm going to put TVMA on TVPG, so they got to bleep out all of my swears." And like,
ain't that what he said already?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I heard.
Didn't Triple H say that in a promo when he was with DX?
Man, that sounds right. Well, I mean, we know about the infamous DX. We're just gonna say it, and you got to bleep it out.
That's that. See, this is why I love the storytelling with Triple H right now.
Since Triple H took over a month ago, Raw this week had 220,000 more viewers than.
Yeah, it's been.
I mean, it's been growing, but 220. Yeah. I mean, we're getting into points numbers now.
It's been over 2 million for the past 3 weeks. When before it maybe you get like 1.9 or something, and this is like, I believe it's continuous where like people are, because like at this point you don't want to switch away from Monday Night Raw because you don't know when something crazy is going to happen at this point.
I mean, let's not pretend like we all don't have DVR, but you know.
I mean, we don't, but like, I mean, like people who like watch it. Like if people don't have like one of those services that automatically record it and they're watching it like live without any way to watch it the exact same way later.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to turn away. But like this storytelling, like I'm loving it because they're saying and doing things where you kind of have to be like, I don't want to say the ultimate wrestling fan, but you at least have to follow some of the stuff that happens, online and in real life stuff. Because this whole Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins feud,
Seth freaking Rollins,
whatever his name is, but like
Rollins
with
now.
this feud,
you would have put that freaking in there, man.
yeah, Seth freaking Rollins.
There you go.
But with this feud, it's been building up years in the making. And if I was talking to a buddy of mine, he didn't know about that. And when I told him about it, he said that changed his whole point of view of that promo, because a few years ago, I can't remember what article or where to find it, but I remember this was when around the time Riddle had got called up from NXT, and he had said something about Becky Lynch or something. Like there was something that caused heat between him and Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins didn't want to be on the same show with him. So when the draft happened and Seth got drafted to SmackDown, Riddle got drafted to Raw because there was some real life heat between the two where, one didn't want to work with the other. And it was just crazy to see, like, okay, now they're on the same show. I guess they squashed that beef. But then to pick it up and, their feud, it's like you kind of have to know what happened in the past a little bit. And they're kind of doing it with, how they're handling NXT and main roster stars now, because now they're acknowledging the fact that they had history in NXT, like Theory and
AEW
Gargano.
does this constantly. They referred to their singles matches against each other that were all WWE matches type stuff with all their stars.
Yeah. But I'm just like, it's good that it's happening, over here, because it really does enhance that storytelling, because now it doesn't seem like they're limiting stories. Anything is possible to connect to a feud now. And that's what makes it exciting for me. Like anything.
At the same time, it's basically going back to like Southern wrestling. Like you could have two people who hate each other's guts, but at the end of the day, is it going to make us money?
Yeah.
It's the Kevin Nash rule.
So I've never in my life, I don't think, ever cared about Seth Rollins, like really at all. Whatever, he's there. He does a decent job. That's fine. But I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks ago when Christian started really laying into Jungle Boy and laying those fucking hot heat, on his family. I love that shit. And I now officially care about Seth freaking Rollins. Just you drop a couple F-bombs, talk about somebody's failed marriage and their illegitimate children, man. You got me hooked, man. Line and sinker.
I want to make a joke so badly right now, knowing that little bit that you made, that comment you made earlier, but I don't know if I should. I can't imagine why Figgy would hate somebody whose name used to be Tyler Black.
Let's not paint a picture, y'all. Let's not paint a picture. Not me.
It was a Freudian slip.
Yes, I all the apologies, and I mean those aren't bullshit apologies. Real quick, we're getting down on time. I have to send a shout out to AT&T this week. I've been here the whole show.
You say that they about to cut you off right now.
Oh, right. I mean, I'm probably fucking with it, but
like this
bandwidth.
This week, for sure. But yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. It's gonna be a WrestleMania level weekend of wrestling events, because just like this past WrestleMania where you had multiple different promotions and multiple different, versions of wrestling out there, this weekend is like that as well. We get 3 pay-per-views, and I'm pretty sure there's some indie stuff out
Premium there. Premium live event.
Check out. There's their pay-per-views.
We're like 1 week close.
I will not conform.
Man, if we want to get any branding here, man, you need to use the words.
We're 1 month closer to AEW finally having their shows go to 2 nights instead of just one 8-9 hour
I
extravaganza.
was just gonna say I cannot stand the 2-night WrestleMania shit. So
When you got shit like that, you kind of need to imagine standing and watching that thing live for like 12 hours.
This will be the last thing I say, but the reason I like the 2-night WrestleManias, just more matches, more opportunities to do something crazy. And
I see it.
I cannot wait till WrestleMania this year, because the first ever Triple H led WrestleMania, Triple H is going hard in the paint. Oh my God, look, I don't know what he gonna do, but I feel like Triple H about to pull something next level.
Goldberg.
Nope.
Man, are they not trying to make Wardlow Goldberg? Every week it gets more and more and more. I'm like, stop it.
I thought they switched over to Goldberg or something. Yeah, because I'm like, no, why are y'all making him Goldberg?
But that's what I'm saying, because he actually has skills.
Wanted Goldberg
he's not a 4-trick pony like Roman Reigns or like Goldberg. Or, like, he can do some shit.
Hey, look. What? Roman Reigns is a 3-trick pony. Okay?
Oh, my bad. I guess what
you got that guillotine, that Superman punch, and that spear. He ain't got nothing else. That's all he do.
We can't, like, the Usos are part of it. I don't know if you ever seen the Tom Hanks bit with the dancing skeletons next to it. Like, but what about the little beatboxing skeletons? We're part of it. That's the Usos.
I mean, they are, but still. All right, y'all. This was 3 Dudes in Wrestling, episode 9. Join us next week for our 10th episode.
Maybe I'll give a pop away. I got an extra Bret Hart Funko Pop. I think this thing's relatively valuable. I think I might give them away.
All right, hey, so
we'll have to figure out some way to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll definitely come up with something. But yeah, thank you to the people who watch now, and thank you to the people who are going to watch in the future. This has been 3 Dudes in Wrestling. We will catch you next week.